Dave, welcome to New Orleans, my hometown.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I love it. And look, co-founder, CMO of Starco Brands.
Yep.
Give us a little bit about the brand. We obviously have a little product placement here. We'll go into detail about it.
Always have to have product placement. We created Starco Brands about 5 years ago, truly to be a 21st century CPG company. We own factories. We were doing work for other people, contract manufacturing, private label, and then looked at our IP and said, wait, why don't we do this for ourselves? My partner's more the manufacturer. I grew up in advertising, chocolate and peanut butter. So we said, all right, we have all this ability. What do we do? And I said, well, I don't want to do commodities. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we took the best IP and we said, all right, we're going to do behavior changing brands. So we took the best IP that was behavior changing, whether it was an alcoholic whipped cream, which doesn't exist, or we have a popcorn seasoning spray that's dominating the aisles at places like Walmart. That didn't exist. And we built brands around them. And since then, we've also acquired brands that kind of fit our mission, and we reversed engineer, and now they're vertically integrated as well. So we have 5 brands in the portfolio. We have Whip Shots, which is our vodka-infused whipped cream. We've got Winona, which is the popcorn seasoning spray. We have Skylar, which is a clean fragrance brand all through Sephora. Mm-hmm. We've got Soylent, which is what we call the world's most perfect food. It's meal replacement and nutrition. And then we have Art of Sport, which came to us from the Kobe Bryant family. Started off as personal care, but we're expanding that to a complete performance brand.
Yeah, I love when brands actually, we've had a lot of brands on stage that have legacy brands. We had one yesterday that's been around for 130 years.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed a thing. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But you and I met back a couple of months back in
Sure.
Nashville. And what I loved about, your energy, your passion for what you do, and it shows itself. And I love when brands start to utilize technology, start to integrate into this world. Maybe touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah. First of all, if you're in marketing, you have to love what you do, right? I mean, look, I understand we're in the business of selling. I get that. I understand it's a business. It's not all fun. But if you can't love your product and be passionate about your product, you can't expect anybody else to. So that's the first part. That's like the plug for, come on, be a marketer. It's fun. With regards to technology, you just can't be stagnant, right? And I think you always have to be on top of newest trends, newest way of doing things. And again, I'm totally down with the legacy brands. Throughout my career, I've been in advertising and have worked with some of the biggest brands on the planet. But if you're not on top of the trends to take that brand in to make it current, be part of the cultural conversation, you're nothing. So from a marketing standpoint, I'm always trying to look out for newest technologies, newest platforms, ways of using those platforms. I'm also quite fortunate. My night job is I'm a professor at USC.
Oh, amazing. So
I teach advertising. So I have a 40-person focus group who keeps me in the know, if you will, every week. And I also have 3 kids. So they're the ones telling me, no, Dad, that person's lame. Don't use them, or that this is a new platform or whatever. And I think that's important too, is to know that you can source ideas from anywhere.
Yeah, I love that. I have 4 kids as well, and it's fun, right? Because you watch how they consume media, you watch how they interact with people, and I think it lends itself to your brand specifically, right? It's fun. Again, being from New Orleans, the Bourbon Street, a couple of blocks from here, it's a fun place. So, the traditional way of how, spirits and beers are consumed are significantly different now.
Sure.
And there's a massive evolution that are happening where you're seeing major brands and distributors start to buy these more fun brands. I was at a party last night and I had no idea that this brand existed within the portfolio.
Okay.
So touch on Whip Shots.
Let's do it.
Cardi B.
Cardi B is our co-founder. She is not an influencer and ambassador. She is my partner in crime. Man, there is nothing that she doesn't touch. For product formulations, packaging, marketing, and everything. She's great. Her and her team are great. You mentioned Bourbon Street.
Yep.
The reason we're here right now is because while NFL sponsors are celebrating, can I even say the word? Sure. Super Bowl. I won't use that in advertising, but other people are saying big game. We looked at what assets we have, and me being from the ad world, we're celebrating Cardi Gras. So we're down, as the world kind of turned to New Orleans for the big game, we said, all right, let's celebrate Cardi Gras. So we've got our normal flavors are, vanilla and chocolate and caramel and such. But we do these seasonal things to be culturally relevant. And we said, let's do a king cake flavor. So we did a king cake flavor. We brought Cardi on down to New Orleans. So right after this, I'm going to Bourbon Street.
Amazing.
Where she's going to be joining us at Fat Tuesday, addressing the crowd and throwing out beads. We did a partnership with Fat Tuesday and Malibu, part of Pernod. Mm-hmm. Made specialty cocktails. Those are in stores across the country. So we're a small brand. We're a fun brand. People want to be associated with us, and we utilize that and we leverage that to create these partnerships to do some innovative things.
Yeah, and I love the flavor. As I'd mentioned, being from here, I brought king cakes yesterday, and it's amazing how when you're in a city and you're in a moment, how quickly people embrace the culture.
Sure.
And then depending on what the culture is, obviously New Orleans being deep in its roots and food, fun, and
let the good
alcohol.
Times roll.
Like les bon temps roulés.
I couldn't pronounce it like that, but yes, amazing. There you go.
But so how, we see a lot of major brands that, pumpkin spice, which you guys do have a pumpkin spice.
We call it pumpkin spiked, but yes.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
But as you kind of continue to evolve the brand and the company,
right.
What you could go too far to be a little too niche and a little.
Sure.
How do you stay within those boundaries, and what really kind of drives you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. When we went into this, again, being from advertising, I kind of went in with a brand mindset. Mm-hmm. So yes, I love the product and I love what's inside. But for me, I went into it going, where do I want to be long term? And so we made sure that we didn't go too niche too fast. Mm-hmm. We had fun, right? We played to certain groups. Like we did something for Pride the first year. We called it Whip It Out. We did pumpkin spike lattes. We're here doing this. It's great. And for the first couple years, though, we had this core to more strategy. Mm-hmm. So we played to the core. Cardi's fans, get it in nightclubs. So we played to the nightclub crowd. But now we're playing to the book club crowd as well. Because we run the gamut. You will not see, no shade to my wife, who happens to be sitting across from us. So no shade, babe. But you won't see her in our advertising.
Sure.
However, from a communication standpoint and getting out there, being in grocery stores across America, being in Walmarts across America, we have a product that resonates. Mm-hmm. Because when my wife brings it to book club, she's the most popular person there. So we know we've got that. So really, to your point, we started with this core. We're growing to more. We created this aspirational brand that we want people to be a part of. It's fun. It's cool. Experiential. But we're very careful not to be too niche.
Sure. Yeah. And look, I just met your wife moments ago, and
yes.
She seems like my wife and her would be friends. And
yeah.
But there's also this culture, you call it book club.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's card games, or
Sure.
whatever the topic aid,
Sure.
but it always is shade for something else. And that's what I love about the brand after meeting you a couple of months ago is although it is very specific, part of your investor co-founder, there's this kind of closet per se excitement around the brand. Like I would imagine if my wife rolled in with this, she would probably have her own like little handbag that it was hidden in. But I think that's kind of the excitement of a brand is oftentimes brands get so hyper focused on like, we have to focus on the nightclub crowd.
Right.
While you could secretly, maybe it's a certain type of flavor
Absolutely.
or innuendo of something
different
that's
channel,
trending.
get in there, get some events there. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you talked earlier about the spirits category mm-hmm. and Starco as a whole. So tying it all together, we're not going to do another tequila. Yep. I'm not going to do another vodka. We want behavior change.
Sure.
That sparks joy. This sparks joy.
Yep.
So that's really in line with who we are as a company, the type of products we want to make, the type of brands that we want to put out. And we're really, the spirits industry is having a hard time right now. It's no secret. Yet this seems to kind of buck the trend, quite frankly, because it's just fun. You're not going to have it every day. Well, maybe you will. Maybe put it in your coffee every day.
We are in New Orleans.
No judge. We listen and we don't judge. But it is something that anytime you're celebrating, you're with friends, you're out, whether you're a book club or nightclub or day clubs or whatever, country clubs, you pull this out, guaranteed it's a party starter.
Yeah, and that's the excitement around the brand. Is
Sure.
It brings excitement. People immediately know.
Yes.
Which I love. So shifting gears, because
Yeah.
I would argue, being a very health-conscious consumer, a lot of people are moving towards the mocktail world
Sure.
and heavily, and
Sure.
the diversification of your brand itself. So you spoke a little bit about it, but the art of sport.
Yes.
Healthcare
Yes.
has become extremely important, and how I was wrestling my daughter this morning, like, clean your face, wash your deodorant on.
Sure.
It's kind of the trends, but
Yes.
people are starting to become hyper-focused on this. And
Right.
that's a significantly different shift from
Absolutely.
your portfolio.
100%.
You touch on the history of it and how you see that continue to evolve with this massive trend of health.
Absolutely. No. And that's what I love about our company overall, is that I can really pivot as needed and capitalize on the trends with regards to whip shots, experiential, people having fun, celebratory, awesome. But you're absolutely right. Wellness, male grooming, really taking center stage. And that's why we actually, we purchased Art of Sport. So we started with Art of Sport, which is a brand specifically tailored for the needs of athletes. Yep. It was personal care. So to your point, as you were talking to your kids, we have deodorant and body wash and shampoo and face wash and face lotion and the whole thing. And that's what came to us. But we also own a brand called Soylent. And Soylent is meal replacement shakes, protein shakes, protein powders. And we said, well, we know a little something about the nutrition category. We want to serve the nutritional needs of athletes as well, and ensure that they have something that's really a high quality product. So we took the technology that we have here and the know-how, and we reformulated for Art of Sport. So we created Art of Sport protein powder. We are coming out, I guess I can announce it, with an Art of Sport ready-to-drink shake.
Wow.
This year. So we definitely are capitalizing on the wellness trend and exercising in that way as well. It's kind of odd to have a brand that has deodorant, body wash, protein powder, and I think we have muscle relief spray, sunscreen, what have you, but it serves the needs of athletes, and that's the mission of that brand.
I love that.
Yeah.
So go a little bit deeper into that, because obviously Cardi B, I'm assuming you have influencers that help promote the Whip Shot brand, but specifically around the art of sport. How do you go about that? Do you have major athletes that are involved in promoting it? Micro influencers, macro influencers? What's kind of the approach there?
Yeah, no, again, that's a great question. Obviously, when the brand was first launched, we didn't own it. You had Kobe, and he had a slate of athletes, top tier at the time, Juju Smith-Schuster and James Harden and so forth and so on. James Harden is still very much involved in the company, and we're working on, we've been meeting with him to say, okay, and not like a will you do this or whatever, but really collectively figuring out how to best utilize them. We definitely utilize influencers and micro influencers. We haven't really delved into the NIL world quite yet. That's just once you go in, it's hard to get out. So how do you get in there? But I will say, I want to, assuming TikTok prevails, I see this as a TikTok brand.
Sure.
And I want this to be the first deodorant in the locker room. My mission is to own the locker room.
Yep.
And I want to start at an early age. So getting those high schoolers, getting early college, getting those guys ingrained into the brand is important for us. So that's the strategy you're gonna see deployed over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and it's very exciting for me sitting on the outside and watching the growth of this company, because it truly is. Each one, it's kind of a mentality.
Sure.
Is my takeaway.
Yes.
And obviously being a former college basketball player, the mentality of Mamba, it's fun. And so dive a little bit deeper, because the youth sport world has become, I have 4 that consume every moment of my weekend.
Yes, exactly.
And they'll latch on to not a collegiate athlete, not an NBA athlete, but they'll latch on to, we'll call them the Pottstown effect, which is the tribal baseball team that has just anything that they touch.
Right.
How have you and your team kind of start to look at trends and cultural moments in the sports world? Yeah, no, I think
you're right. The big guys look good on a point of sale display or a billboard. But I think that's kind of not the ethos of our company. The ethos of our company is more, I don't want to say grassroots. I don't know if that's entirely true, but really finding true culture and true impact. As you said, your kids are influenced not necessarily up here. They're influenced down here. That's who I want to find.
Yep.
So that's really what we are looking at, is who are those people that are truly driving impact? You know, again, I talked about, you know, we learn from our kids, right? And I have a 16-year-old son. I mean, he's right in the pocket. He was a huge sports fan, wants to go into sports management. I mean, he's right there. And I'm like, all right, buddy, talk to me about, and he's mentioning influencers, and he's talking about these guys, and we could spend hours on the couch looking through videos and I want to know, what are they known for? What are they good? What kind of impact? If they held something up, would you buy it? Would you think it's cool? You know, I do the same thing with my class, right? We have Skylar Fragrance, and I'm like, okay, if this person was promoting it, what about this person? All hands go up, right? And that's important, right? Is to understand it's not just about number of followers and number of engagement, and we look at all the metrics, but really, what's the cultural impact? Are they really, are they hot? Are they somebody who I want to follow? Are they going to have an impact on sales, and I want to share it and everything? And that's what we really look for.
Yeah. Last question.
Sure.
We're at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
If you had $100 million,
$100 million,
and you could either purchase one Super Bowl spot, produce, paid, everything, or you could take that exact money and put it towards an experiential event at the Super Bowl. Which one do you choose?
So you know what? Like, it's a great question. But wait, I have $100 million. I only get one spot?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm just kidding. No, I think, you know what? I spent my years in advertising. There's no replacement for Super Bowl advertising, right? What I will say is I would take that. I'm gonna do a hybrid answer for you.
Do it.
All right. I'm gonna do a 360 campaign, and I'm gonna put the spot on, but I'm gonna make sure it's a spot with legs, and I'm gonna make sure that it integrates into culture. So it's not a spot and a dot and you leave, but it's gonna be something that has an impact in culture, and I'm gonna be able to activate around it.
It's a perfect answer.
Oh, wow, I got perfect answer.
Look, I'm excited about next year to see where the product is. Hopefully you and I are sitting here for the Super Bowl next year.
Oh, I can't wait.
We have a new brand.
Love it. I can't wait.
Continue to grow.
I'm here. I'm here for it.
Thank you,
All right, man. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.